Hello, hello, hello. Good night. Welcome to Words of Pearls, everyone. Uh, it's been a while since, yeah, I didn't do last week, Words of Pearls. But anyway, here I am this week. Sometimes it gets a little bit hectic. I've got stuff to do. So back this week, I want to ask you something. I have entitled this episode Eating. Now, I want to ask you, do you eat to live or do you live to eat? Which is it? Is food your fuel and your nutrients, or is food a means uh, uh, um, uh, of you know, uh, is it a replacement, right? Like, do you eat your feelings? So when you're emotionally disturbed or emotionally upset, sorry, or when you're angry or, feeling hurt or rejected, do you turn to food? When you're happy, do you turn to food? So are you using food as a means of comfort? Hence the word comfort food. So we have, let me tell you, there was a restaurant, they closed now, but there was a restaurant, like because of the COVID, the pandemic, they had to close. They were one of the restaurants that closed, but they made the best string French fries. And so they weren't salty. They were just like what I would call comfort food. So every Sabbath, after the sunset, this was during the winter, this is what we would eat. Lo and behold, spring came and we had all put on weight. We're like, what? We were always eating those French fries because they felt so comforting. And, it was cold and it gets dark early, so we just like watch some movies and eat French fries, basically. And even though we drank water or we drank juices, whatever we chose to drink, it was still we packed on somewhere. But that just came to mind as I'm talking in terms of comfort food. But I know for some folks it's ice cream, it can be mac and cheese for others, you know, and all that is doing is that we're putting that in the place of something else. And it's just a way of feeling good about ourselves. Well, it's like a temporary solution that kind of we have to work off when the spring comes before the summer, or work it off during the summer, or work it off for the next couple of years. Because the thing is that I find interesting, the weight we put on in just a short period of time takes an even longer period of time to get the situation resolved. But yet, the thing is though, talking about eating, we know that gluttony is a sin. And I say gluttony, that's why I asked, are you eating to live or are you living to eat? Because like I'm a foodie and there are certain things I like. I will travel this great distances just to get fruits or food. And I do love food, fruits and vegetables. I eat my fruits, I eat my veggies. I've taught my kids every night vegetables were prepared. Okay, every single night. Yes. Um, if it's French fries, if they were getting French fries or a burger, there was a salad with it. So it's like pizza, there was a salad with it. Or sometimes it was broccoli done a different way. And there's always some kind of vegetable or salad or green salad. And when my mom was alive, she loved making the bean salad. I didn't really care for the bean salad, but I must say it really tasted good. But that was a good way to eat beans because she made it, she would add these different beans and I don't know, she mixed vinegar with something, but it really tasted good. I didn't really care for it so much. So like I rather eat my beans as stew, or like I'll make lentil loaves, or just make a stew with the red whatever beans it is. I love the Cuban black beans, and of course being Cuban, being Latina. Yeah, okay. Anyway, um, yeah, and we know that even in biblical times, people usually gather around food. So food does create bonds, and when we're eating foods, remember contracts as well, covenants is what covenants. So food can be utilized in many ways, and it makes us happy. It makes us laugh. I totally enjoy getting together with family and having some food. It doesn't have to be heavy food. Can be light food. Can be whatever it is. We bake and so forth and so on. The thing is not to overindulge. That's the part I'm getting to, not to overindulge in any one thing. Really doesn't matter. I grew up in Jamaica where when eating mangoes, here there are times I will literally eat a half a mango, depending on the size. I will slice it. Well, I shouldn't say a half. I'll slice it and then leave the seed for another time. Is there anyone else who does that? But growing up in Jamaica, I've never known anyone to eat even one mango at a time, right? It's usually multiple. Like there are basins of mangoes, buckets of mangoes. It doesn't matter what the size of the mangoes are, right? No one ever eats one. When I was growing up, I would never eat one mango. I mean, now I do. Sometimes when they're small, and like I said, depending on the size, if they're a really big mango, I will slices off of it and then leave the rest for the next time. And so, but the thing about it is that food was really created to give us fuel to work, fuel to think, fuel to, for our brain, for our bodies, strengthen us, so we can go to work or play or whatever it is we do. And so that's what I wanted to know, which is it for you? And it doesn't mean, even though we ingest food for fuel and for nutrients, right? That keeps our bodies healthy and strong. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. Seriously, you can. You can have fun with it, right? The thing though is that when we start overeating, like we eat, our stomachs are full, but we feel that we still need to eat more, right? That goes into gluttony, which is a sin. Why is gluttony a sin? It's because we start putting hope, right, in the food instead of in God. See, the thing is, we've now used the food to replace God. Because listen, God's not comforting me when I'm going through grief, when I'm going through rejection, when I'm going through unhappiness, when I'm going through whatever it is I'm going through. Oh no, he's not comforting me there. Therefore, I now need to utilize food to replace him. Like when and so you have folks, and notice, do you ever notice we're usually not eating stuff that's really good for us? Folks would eat a whole tub of ice cream, a whole huge bar of chocolate, or multiple, or a whole box then of chocolate. Oh, man, I could have shown you. My son gave me a box of chocolate. That's so delicious. It really is. Can I tell you? One of my sons gave it to me. I think there's still two in it. Can I tell you how much was in the box? Like eight, two, four, six, eight, eight. And they're really, really good. And I'll eat one and just have a good time. Do I get the urge to go back sometimes? Not gonna lie. Yes, I do. But after remembering that winter with those string fries, It didn't, and when I tell you, it wasn't even like a lot, but it was like every um Saturday night after Sabbath, after the sun has set, every Saturday night, we all had. And like I said, it wasn't a lot, we all had a decent portion, but every I don't know. So I've learned, and and over the years, I've really just learned to trust God, to rely on Him, to not use something else to replace. And I'm not always doing that. That's the truth. I'm not always doing that. There are times, of course. There are times, of course, when, um, I have these little Japanese cookies that I like. Um, they're so light. And that there's a little deception there because they're so light. They're so crispy. The crunch, oh, the delight in them. Yeah, I've had like three or four in one sitting. I'll say, oh, I'm just having this one. And then I'll go back. And then I'll go back. And then I'll go back. And then when I look in the bag and I see, oh, well, they're only, because they're individually wrapped, by the way. So when I look in the bag and I see, well, there are only four left. I'm like, okay, that's it. And then I'm asking the Lord, help me not to finish the entire bag in one sitting. But, I just want to encourage us because we go through things in life, and there are times that things are very upsetting to us. Every day is not always like, ooh, I always call it sunshiny, birds singing, the happiness day, right? So there are times when things happen on the job, in school, at home, wherever you are, in families, and things that can be upsetting. And sometimes when we can't resolve issues on our own, when we get no satisfaction, right, we want to just plunk into, let me sit in front of a bowl of something. Maybe it's a whole box of cereals, maybe it's a whole tub of ice cream, maybe it's butter and cheese, maybe it's pizza, maybe it's ice, I said ice cream before, French fries, or whatever it is, fried chicken. Sometimes folks cook. I remember a family member of mine, like seriously, late nights cooking. And I remember back in the day having someone make steak and cheese to me, like in the wee hours of the morning. Let me tell you something, don't ever try that. We all were up and we're like, and it wasn't, I don't think that time we were trying to like bury our feelings in food. It was just that we were all up playing games and everything like that. Like when you play card games and you play dominoes and it's just having fun and we were still up. And so they just had the bright idea, wait a minute, we're up. So we might as well have breakfast. And what was for breakfast? Steak and eggs. Now, after eating the steak and eggs, we all got tired and went to sleep, right? So waking up the next day, but it was during the summer and we didn't have school or work or anything. We were young. But not a good idea. I don't think we should ever go to bed that way. I know for me, when I like eat certain foods like a lot and then go to sleep, when I wake up the next day, I just don't feel that perky, energetic. I get up, but then I'm like feeling like, oh, that, like that, So, um, as they say, we should eat like a king in the morning and like a prince in the afternoon and like a pauper at night. And I remember growing up in Jamaica, West Indies. I don't know about you, but growing up, we usually have big breakfasts. And we usually, still, you can go to Jamaican restaurants and you'll get like yam and bananas and, and ackee and codfish or or callaloo and codfish, or callaloo or codfish by itself, okra and codfish, or fried fish, or fried fish and bread, or um, bacon and eggs, and that kind of thing. So uh, we use back then I used to eat pork, so my ackee had to have some pork in it. That was back way, way back in the day. But we'd have large breakfasts. And lunchtime, we'd have like food, like rice with oxtail or fried chicken, rice and peas and plantains, and salad, or more than one beef sandwiches. And not beef like today. I don't even know what that is today. I've stopped eating it because of that. But anyway, and just having, you know, um, to take us through the day. But going home now, dinner was always lighter. And then we'd have like a sandwich and tea, or crackers and tea, Milo and crackers, or, something light, like, and we never, no wonder I was so skinny. Everybody used to tease me how skinny I was. But anyway, um, we never ate very late, right? And then here in America, things are so much different. And yeah, so just wanted to share that with you, talking about um, gluttony, how not to be a glutton. It is a sin. We shouldn't practice that. And let's try to resolve our issues other ways, rather than plunking it. Because do you ever notice we don't want to eat like celery and carrots and some cherries or grapes or something like that when we're upset. We don't want that. We just like, let me get the ice cream and stuff. But we can train ourselves, because you know what? Truly, truly, our flesh is very selfish. Our flesh doesn't have our best interests at heart. Your flesh will betray you. I guarantee you can look at moments when your own flesh betrayed you. So that's what reason not to real for us not to give into our flesh. So we have to try to remember that food is our staple to help to give us the nutrients that we need to sustain our lives, and to give us fuel for work, and for, brain power for thinking, and for studying, and, and things of that nature. So I do hope that this session does help. Oh, I don't know. I'm just thinking it's funny. And I'm not saying you can't eat bread or carbs or anything like that. I'm not saying to be restrictive. I'm saying that you can. Just don't. Yeah, there are those who will eat a whole loaf of bread as well. My cousin, I had a cousin, let me tell you, wouldn't put on a single ounce, but would eat an entire hard old bread. Hey, girl. And if you see her today, I mean, she's not, I don't, she's not even my size. So, but some folks metabolism, is different. But yeah, and it wasn't because she was burying her feeling, but because we truly, don't you love the scent of freshly baked bread? And we had family member that worked at a bakery, so we'd always get fresh bread. So um not one, we'd have bread, multiple bread. So it's like just smelling the scent of it. So anyway, let me just look. As I said, I've entitled this Eating. Let us purpose that we should eat to live instead of living to eat. you know, just wanted to say, let's not try to replace God by using food in his stead. So let me just see if anyone's on, and I'm just checking. Hold on. Um, wait, hold on 1 second. Oop, okay, let me check if anyone. Oh, because sometimes you guys know the drill. Yes, you do. I come on, someone's on, and then after I leave, I see, but okay, no one's there today. So anyway, Whenever time you see this message, I do hope it blesses you. Let's try not to fall into things that will be to our detriment or will hinder us in ways in which we unforeseen ways we couldn't have thought about. So I pray your eating will always uplift you when you've had some healthy meal and some very nourishing meals that you'll say, yes, I've done well. All righty, take care. Have a wonderful evening and know that you are loved. And God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit loves all of us so much more than the greatest love we've ever, human love we've ever experienced. His love surpasses that. All right, so take care and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to share this message with those you think might need it, and I will upload it to my YouTube channel, which I'm Flo, Flo, Chang-Ageda. All right? Have a good night.